Yo, YouTube, what's the word? It's your boy, man, Cuts. Man, before we break off into this tutorial, I gotta give a huge shout out to my producer, man. He's the one responsible for most of these beats that you hear on these tutorials, man. My dog, y'all just heard him, HBG Beats. Man, listen, before the new year kicked off, me and him had a conversation, and I told him that I wanted to give you guys a different side of me, man. I didn't want to, give you guys a vibe that it felt like a teacher and a student. I wanted to give you guys a vibe that it felt like, like just you could just kick your feet back, relax, and learn something, man. You know what I mean? And with this beat right here, he definitely delivered. So I gotta give a huge shout out to my boy, man. Without him, the tutorials wouldn't be the same, man. I promise you guys. But as you guys can see, we break off just by lifting my client's hair off the scalp. He wanted to cut a little bit down, and we going with a number 3 guard, lever closed, and we starting to knock it down. Now I do know after we went with the number 3 guard, my client wanted to go a little lower, so you guys will see when I start to fade his hair, it's a lot shorter than, what it is right now. And basically all he was going for, he wanted to still keep it dark, but he still wanted it to be able to curve. So, we're going with the number 3, and we thought this was going to be the look that he wanted, but in reality it wasn't. So we going back with a number 2 guard with the lever all the way open, so he technically has a 2.5 if you want to be technical with it, right? So everything is just starting to go together. And when it comes to cutting a client's hair down, I like to go against the grain if they don't have waves or anything like that, just because it gives you a more precise cut. So to break off into the fade, we're going with the lever all the way closed. And man, just keep everything consistent. If you're new to my channel, my philosophy is after every few strokes, you want to always keep a brush in your hand no matter what, or a comb, something, and you want to just get the excess hair out of the way so you have a clean canvas when it comes to work. So now we follow up with the lever all the way open, and we go up about 1 inch. And like I said, your entire time fading, you want to have a comb in your hand, a brush in your hand, something that you can remove the excess hair so you have a clean canvas to work from. You know what I mean? So we getting it in, making it do what it do. And as you guys can see, the hair is a lot shorter right here, and we're going with a number 1.5 guard with the lever all the way open. And that 1.5 guard should pretty much blend perfectly into that number 2 on top. And you guys can see, it might be a little harder for you guys to see right now depending on where you're at in the career, but the fade is already starting to come together. And we just continue to go with that lever open, and now we're going to whip the grain. Now we follow back with that same guard, the 1.5 guard with the lever closed, and we're hitting right up under where we left off with that lever all the way open. And you guys will find out quickly, if you don't already know, everything that I do on my channel is about repetition. So you guys can see the lever is closed, we got the same guard, but it's the same steps. We like to follow back up with the grain and lay the hair back down just to give us a nice transition. And as you guys can see, the fade is starting to really come together. Now it's time to do the same thing. We just pick up a different guard. We got a number 1 guard, a lever all the way open, going up about 1 inch. And after every few strokes, we're taking the comb and we laying the hair right back down so we can see the dark areas that we need to come back and clean up. Man, I'm telling y'all, this beat is crazy, man. Like, my boy did his thing, man, for sure. Now we smoothing it back down, going with the grain. Everything's starting to come together, man. If y'all pay attention, the fade is gonna start coming together. I see a couple of dark areas I don't like. We come back, we use straight corners, cleaning it up. Yeah, that's it right there. Lever closed. Now we hitting right up under where we went with that lever all the way open. And you guys can see the fade is really starting to come together now. And pretty much when the lever is closed, all you're doing is softening up that guideline to make it easier to remove it with your half guard. And as you guys can see, lever closed, smoothing it down, fade is starting to come together. Now we got the half guard, going lever all the way open, getting those dark areas out. And anytime I use my half guard, I always only really like to use my corners. So we aiming for any dark spots we see, and we starting to get them together. The lever is halfway, starting to nudge the line up, and we're a little lower than we were with the lever all the way open. Then we're gonna follow back up, lever all the way closed, right there. And then we even further under the fade. You guys can see the fade is starting to come together. A couple dark spots that the half guard didn't get out, that's okay. You gotta remember to have patience. It's coming together real nice and clean, man. Now we're gonna start nudging that first guideline out, level halfway. And as you guys can see, we're starting to fade him out. Now the level's all the way closed. And this step right here should take that guideline completely out. Now as far as those dark areas, you could pick your half guard back up, but as you guys can see, I went all the way open and just started corner working. You guys can see it, man. It's starting to come to life, coming together, however you want to say it, right in front of our eyes, man. Yup. And then right there, we're just raking the hair down. Literally just smoothing it back down and, you know, creating a nice fade without a guard. You know, depending on where you're from, this technique is called different things. Out here in Virginia, you know, most of us, we call it the raking technique. And as you guys can see, we made it do what it do. So now we break off into the side taper area. And we're going to do everything the exact same. The only thing that I'm going to do differently is use a different tool just to show you guys it does not matter what you're using. You can use a wall clipper, a babeless clipper, an Andis clipper. If you know what you're doing, everything going to come together, man. And another difference that we're using right here is we're balding them out with the wall balding clipper. So we break in the exact same way we did in the back, level all the way open, going up about 1 inch, and we making it do what it do. For the ones that may be wondering why I didn't go in with my wall balding clipper on the back, typically I don't like to set in a bald guideline on the back just because, man, you know, the back of the neck is, you know, is a sensitive area. And so right here, I go in with a number 1 guard on my Andis Master, all the way open. And I know a couple of these guys, or a lot of you guys may be looking at it like, man, what kind of Andis guards are those? But these guards right here are the first ever, the OG, however you want to say, original Master guards, man. You know, right here, the lever is closed too. But, you know, these guards right here, man, are kind of like dinosaurs. You know, I kind of starting to see them, you know, pop up here and there in certain beauty supply stores out in my area. And I see them on Amazon here and there. But, man, these guards right here, they different. You know what I mean? They give you that. They give you the ability to really dig, to really single out, you know, any piece of hair or any dark area that you want and to make it do what it do. So we follow up with the half guard all the way open, and we starting up higher in the fade, then we go halfway, we move a little lower in the fade, and then we go all the way close, and we go all the way at the bottom of the fade pretty much. And that's a gem. If I already covered it in this video, I apologize, but man, I could try not to give you guys too many gems in one video because I know it can be a lot. But man, the higher you are on your fade, the more open your clipper should be. The lower you are on your fade, the more lower and the more closed your level should be, right? So to take that last guideline out, halfway, all the way closed. Same thing. Everything that you guys get from this channel will always be repetition and just being patient with your process and trusting your process and having faith in everything that you're doing. And you guys can see it's a lot of dark spots. But we come in and we just be patient, man. We start to nudge the line out, get behind the ear, combing the hair, and, you know, making it do what it do. My client right here, that's my dog, man. One of my childhood best friends for sure. Man, he has, you know, more coily hair. So it takes a little bit more to get the fades, you know, to my liking, but that's okay. You know what I mean? We're going to make it do what it do. So right here, we got a regular or Andis magnetic number 1 guard on there. And we're just doing the same thing. Everything's starting to come together, man. And you guys can see the fade is pretty much in there. Couple of dark spots, you see I'm getting them out of there. And then my boy Icy. So to break off into the lineup footage, man, the best advice I can give you guys, just be patient. You know what I'm saying? Take your time. This footage right here is in regular time. You know, for me, I don't necessarily feel like, you know, you really need to push anybody lineup back. You know, I feel like if the hair is prepped, the skin is prepped, and your liners are set to, you know, for yourself or for your liking or whatever, right? And I feel like, you know, it should do what it do. You know, I was always told and always taught, you know, pretty much your tools are doing all the work for you. You just placing them in the position to do the work. So when you approach the top of the ear, use the corner of your blade and just take your time. it should almost just be like you in art class using a pencil, or you painting a project, doing whatever, and just look at it like that's how I always look at it. I'm not gonna lie. Like my client is my canvas, and my tools are my tools to, create whatever type of art that I want to create, right? So, you know, as you guys can see, man, this joint's coming together, man. You guys can see that taper on the side and the back, they flow into each other. I like to keep the area around the ear a little darker, just so it give it that pop, give it that flair, and you guys can see what I'm talking about. Once I finish up, and probably towards the end of the video, it'll pop as well. But you guys can see, man, it's making it do what it do, making sure all the excess hair is cleaned off, so my client has a long-lasting haircut. Man, let's break off into it. So when I go into doing my front lineups, I always like to break off with my vertical bars, just because me personally, I feel like once you set those vertical bars in, it kind of just paints the picture, you know what I'm saying, for the front lineup to automatically be straight. Now my client in the chair, he kind of has a lot of, overhang when it comes to his edge up, and that's fine. You're gonna get clients like that, but your job as a barber is to have a consultation with them and see if they want to cut, a lot of that excess hair off, or they want to, just leave as much as they possibly can. Now for my client right here, pretty much the only access areas that he has is just towards the corners. So the front is, is not a lot. It's not like he has a widow's peak or anything like that. So he just has to, kind of, cut that excess hair off just to give that nice, strong, straight line. You know what I mean? So you guys will see what I'm talking about. But again, just take your time. Let your trimmer do all the work. You guys can see I'm just tapping. I'm not putting no pressure. My client's skin isn't getting irritated. He's not bleeding, any of that. And my client right here, man, has a real sensitive skin, man. Real sensitive skin. But you guys can see the fade is in there. So we break off into the line. And as you guys can see, you see what I'm talking about. Putting those vertical bars in pretty much sets you up to see that straight line. And like I said, man, my client just the way his hair grows, he has a lot of extra hair growing towards the corners. And you guys can see we keeping it as further out as we can. You know what I mean? And we making it do what it do. So just be patient, keep everything consistent, comb the hair down, brush the hair back down, because just because you set that line in one time doesn't mean the lineup is done. Another gem that I can give you guys is, just because you see barbers charging $50, $60 a haircut doesn't mean that they're skipping a lot of corners. Barbers that are doing that 9 times out of 10, and not all barbers, but most barbers that are charging that, are taking their services to the next level. Clients are, getting longevity out of their haircuts, and that comes from the continuous, combing of the lineup. As you guys can see, after I tap it a couple times, I like to follow back up, with my comb, and either if I have a brush and brush everything back down, and the extra hair that I see that's hanging over the line, we just cut that off. So doing this just ensures that you don't dig into anybody's line. You know what I mean? So, man, I'm gonna let y'all continue to rock out to the video, rock out to the beat, and just, catch a vibe, man. And again, hey, whatever you guys do in life, be patient, have faith in it, trust in everything that you got going on, man. And if you're new, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys on the next video.